Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno on Friday says she is not resigning. Sereno makes the statement after being pressured by the associate justices to take an indefinite leave. Speaking before students of the University of Baguio College of Law and lawyers from the Cordillera about judicial independence, Sereno says the impeachment process must be respected. She says, quote, "The only constitutional way allowed for handling the impeachment proceedings in the House is to vote on the question of probable cause in a timely manner and not drag it further nor couple it with calls for extra constitutional help, like facilitating the ouster of the Chief Justice or calling on the Supreme Court to do the job of the Senate." Sereno also challenges her critics and the House of Representatives to elevate the impeachment process to the Senate. She asks, quote, "If they were so sure of their evidence even to the point of perjuring baseless accusations, if they can prove that I have committed to the hardest of sins against the people, why not bring it to the Senate?" The Chief Justice also says she could only be removed from the office through an impeachment process and not by an internal action, seemingly alluding to an en banc consensus of asking her to go on an indefinite leave. Her spokespersons have called this move extra-constitutional. Malacañang on Friday says there are 2 areas in the West Philippine Sea that are being considered for joint exploration by the Philippines and China through corporations. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says the 2 areas are in offshore Calamian, northwest of Palawan, and in a block of Recto Bank or Reed Bank. Both areas are within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. The 2 joint exploration ventures are covered by Service Contracts 57 and 72. The Energy Department says Service Contract 57 is a joint venture among state-run PNOC Exploration Corporation, Jadestone Energy Incorporated, and China National Offshore Oil Corporation, an oil company owned by the Chinese government. The DOE says Service Contract 57 has been ready for President Rodrigo Duterte's signature since September 2017. Service Contract 57 was awarded to PNOC-EC by the DOE in September 2005 to conduct petroleum exploration and development over a 720,000-hectare area in the Calamian area. The area is located north of the Malampaya oil field and northwest of Palawan Block, source of much of the country's oil. The Calamian area is not being claimed by China. Service Contract 72, meanwhile, involves joint exploration in a block of Recto Bank, which is being claimed by China. It was awarded to Forum Energy PLC, a subsidiary of Manuel Pangilinan-led Philex Petroleum Corporation. In 2014, the Philippine government stopped all joint exploration and drilling surveys in Recto Bank as the administration of Benigno Aquino III filed a case against China with the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, Netherlands. In 2016, the International Court ruled in favor of the Philippines, declaring China's 9-dash line invalid. Maritime expert J. Batong Bakal says allowing joint development in an area within China's 9-dash line can be seen as inconsistent with the arbitral ruling won by the Philippines. Vice President Leni Robredo says lawmakers should first pass an anti-political dynasty law before they pursue amendments to the Constitution to pave the way to federalism. Robredo says changing the Constitution without an anti-dynasty law is dangerous for the country because the provinces are ruled by political clans. Article 2, Section 26 of the Constitution says, quote, "The state shall guarantee equal access to opportunities for public service and prohibit political dynasties as may be defined by law." But this provision has not been properly implemented in the country. With 78% of Congress belonging to dynasties, lawmakers have been hesitant to pass a law that would fulfill this constitutional provision. Robredo warns federalism without an anti-dynasty law will strengthen political clans and cause fiefdoms to thrive in the country. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or Central Bank says business confidence in the economy dropped in the first quarter of 2018. The BSP Q1 Business Expectations Survey shows the confidence index dropped from 43.3% in the fourth quarter of 2017 to 39.5% in the first 3 months of this year. The BSP says the implementation of the tax reform law, rising fuel prices, more competition, and the post-holiday hangover caused the drop in confidence. Phase 1 of the tax reform law lowers income tax across all levels, but balances this out with increased excise taxes on automobiles, sugar, and gasoline, among others. The government expects the tax reform to generate around 90 billion pesos more in revenue, the bulk of which is earmarked for infrastructure spending. Despite the overall drop in confidence, the number of firms looking to hire new workers increased to 29.9% in the first quarter of 2018 from 24.7% in the last quarter. The number of firms planning to expand in the next 3 months also increased to 35.1% from 31.1% in the previous quarter. President Rodrigo Duterte on Thursday orders the country's security forces not to respond to United Nations rapporteurs who would investigate human rights abuses under his administration. Duterte questions why the UN rapporteurs have to interfere in the country's affairs. He says, quote, "Why would we be answering? Why? Who are they? And who are you to interfere in the way I would run my country?" The Philippine president says rapporteurs should consider that the country is being swallowed by drugs. Malacañang earlier said it wants a different UN rapporteur to investigate allegations of human rights violations in Duterte's war on drugs and not UN rapporteur Agnes Calamard. Foreign Secretary Alan Cayetano said the Philippines won't accept Calamard because of her biased and antagonistic stance towards the Philippine government. The International Criminal Court also earlier began its preliminary examination of the Philippines' drug war.